Retirement. It's supposed to be the golden years, the time when you finally get to enjoy life on your own terms. No more early alarms, no more demanding bosses, no more stressful commutes, just freedom, time to relax, to travel, to spend time with family, to do the things you've always wanted. So why do so many retirees feel stuck, unfulfilled, even unhappy? If you've ever had that nagging feeling that something isn't quite right, like retirement isn't turning out the way you imagined, you are not alone. It happens to so many people. And the surprising part, it's not about money, it's not about health, it's not even about circumstances. More often than not, retirement dissatisfaction comes down to a few key mistakes. Mistakes that quietly steal your happiness and your purpose and your joy. The good news, you can fix them. So today, we're diving into the biggest retirement mistakes that could be ruining your happiness. And most importantly, how to turn things around starting today. Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes retirees make. And it happens before they even retire. The mistake of not planning for life beyond money for years, maybe even decades. You worked hard to save for retirement. You made financial decisions, looked at pensions, thought about Social Security, and maybe even met with a financial advisor. But here's what almost nobody talks about. What are you actually retiring to? See, most people focus on leaving work, but they never really plan what happens after that. And that's where the trouble starts. Because in the beginning, retirement feels great, like an extended vacation. No schedules, no responsibilities, just time to relax. But then the days start blending together. You wake up with no real plan. The hobbies that once sounded fun don't seem so exciting anymore. And suddenly, you realize you have all the time in the world but nothing to do with it. That's when boredom, frustration, and even depression can creep in. So how do you fix it? You create purpose. Retirement isn't about stopping. It's about shifting your focus to something new. What excites you? What keeps you engaged? Maybe it's a small business, a passion project, volunteering, or mentoring younger generations. Maybe it's learning something new, painting, gardening, playing an instrument. The happiest retirees wake up with a plan. They don't just exist, they have things to look forward to. So if you've been feeling lost, the best thing you can do is start structuring your time with purpose. Give your days meaning again, and you'll feel an instant shift in your happiness. Now watch, that brings us to the second mistake, a mistake that is so common, yet nobody wants to admit it. Letting social connections fade away. This one is huge. One of the biggest factors in a long, happy, and healthy life isn't diet, isn't exercise, it's relationships. But here's what happens in retirement. Work friends drift away, daily routines change, social circles shrink, and suddenly, without even realizing it, life starts feeling lonely. Maybe you've felt it already, that sense of isolation creeping in. Maybe the phone isn't ringing as often. Maybe you've stopped making plans. Maybe you're spending a lot more time alone than you ever thought you would. And here's the hard truth. Loneliness is deadly. Studies have shown that social isolation increases the risk of dementia, heart disease, and even early death. But beyond the science, there's the emotional toll. Because let's be honest, life is just more enjoyable when you have people to share it with. The fix? Be intentional about staying connected. You don't have to wait for others to reach out. You can take the lead, call an old friend, make new ones, join a club, take a class, get involved in your community. It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that you don't let retirement turn into isolation. Because at the end of the day, happiness isn't about what you have. It's about who you have to share it with. And now that we've talked about purpose and social connections, there's another mistake that often sneaks up on retirees. one that can quietly rob you of your energy, health, and enthusiasm for life. We've talked about two of the biggest mistakes that can quietly drain the joy out of retirement: not planning for life beyond work, and letting social connections fade away. These two alone can leave you feeling lost, disconnected, and unfulfilled. But there's another mistake, one that doesn't just affect your happiness, it affects your body, your mind, and your energy. The mistake of neglecting your physical and mental health. Now, I know what you're thinking. I try to eat well. I go for walks. I take my vitamins. And that's great. But here's the thing. Retirement can be sneaky when it comes to your health. When you were working, your days had a natural rhythm. Getting up, moving around, staying active, interacting with people. But now, without even realizing it, many retirees slow down too much. Days become more sedentary. Meals become a little less structured. Sleep patterns change, and slowly but surely, energy starts fading. Aches and pains increase and motivation drops. The biggest mistake, thinking that slowing down is normal. It's not. You are not supposed to feel weaker, more tired, or mentally sluggish just because you've retired. In fact, retirement should be the time when you feel your best, because you finally have the time to take care of yourself properly. So how do you fix it? You make movement a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, not just when you feel like it or when the weather is nice. Every single day. And no, it doesn't have to be intense. A simple 30-minute walk, stretching routine, or light strength exercises can make a world of difference. Movement keeps your joints healthy, your heart strong, and your brain sharp. It's not just about looking good, it's about staying independent and feeling amazing. And speaking of feeling amazing, let's talk about your mind. Because here's another mistake many retirees make. They stop challenging their brains. Think about it. When you were working, your brain was constantly engaged. Problem solving, learning new skills, interacting with people. It was getting a workout every single day. But after retirement, for many people, mental stimulation drops drastically. And when that happens, memory starts slipping, focus weakens, and over time, the risk of dementia and cognitive decline skyrockets. But here's the good news. Your brain is just like a muscle. If you challenge it, it stays strong. If you don't, it weakens. The solution: keep learning, thinking, and problem solving. Read books, do puzzles, learn a new skill, play an instrument, take a class, anything that forces your brain to work in new ways. Even something as simple as having deep conversations. Debating ideas or picking up a new hobby can keep your mind sharp well into your 80s and beyond. And remember, this isn't just about avoiding dementia. It's about keeping life exciting. When you keep learning, you keep growing. And when you keep growing, retirement doesn't feel like an end. It feels like a whole new beginning. Now, that brings us to another mistake. One that affects not just your health, but your entire mindset about aging and happiness. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tips on living your best life after 60. Here's to a retirement that's not just about getting older, but about living fully. I'll see you in the next video.